All right. So today we are going to learn pandas, right? So we have already covered Python programming language, right? Last week we covered Python programming language. This week, yesterday we covered something called as NumPy, which is written in Python, right? NumPy, which is written in Python. And today we are going to learn something called as pandas, right? This is something for today. This is the today's topic, right? Why do we require pandas and why do we learn pandas? Let's say see what we are doing here. Anyone who can tell me what is the name of the course? What is the name of the course that you are doing? Recording is so it has been started, Samir, so it is already recording. Yes, the course is foundations, sorry, foundations of data analysis, right? Now, if we are doing data analysis, we want some way so that we can read the data, right? We can read the data, we can update the data or manipulate the data, update or manipulate the data, right? We need a way to basically do manipulations and reading the data, updating the data, deleting the data. We need to do all these things, right? We need to do all these things. And how do we do that? How do we do that? In order to do all these things, we need something called as pandas, right? We need a library, a module called as pandas, right? So today we are going to look into how to do these things. So if you have missed yesterday's lecture, so just go to YouTube. Okay, you will be able to find the yesterday's lecture. I think yesterday's lecture is not uploaded yet, but by the end of the day, it is going to get uploaded. Okay, so let me ask my team to upload the recording right now. Okay. All right, so I've already informed them. So somebody from my team is going to upload the recordings before today's end. Okay, even today's video will also get uploaded on the same place. Okay, on YouTube channel. Um, yes, there is a channel on YouTube. Let me share the link. I thought you already knew, so let me try to share the link. Give me a second. All right, so let me just put it in the chat box. Just try to subscribe the channel. Okay, you will get all the recordings, all the videos, even all the notifications. Is that fine? Okay. All right. So yeah. So let's start with today's session. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me change the settings. Chat settings. Let me change them. Yeah, I think now you can post these messages to a public or even to me, right? So yeah. All right then. So let's start with the session. So let me open the notebook. Let me open this entire code that I've written. So I'll explain you how to write pandas code. But before, let me show you one. Yeah. So we are going to learn pandas today, right? We are going to learn how to manipulate the data, how to read the data, how to do all sort of things on the data, right? It is very similar to how we do all these stuff in SQL, right? Anyone who knows about SQL? Have you heard of SQL? Why do we need SQL? What do we do with SQL? we try to perform all sort of queries on the data sets, right, on the databases using SQL, right? Same kind of things can be done using pandas also. Yes, database management, right? So similarly, we can do all the database management tasks using pandas also, but not exactly the database management task. In SQL, we need something called as databases, right? In pandas, in order to use pandas, you can use pandas even on Excel file, right? You have normal Excel file in your computers, right? You have CSV files in your computers. You can also use pandas on the top of database files, right? You can use pandas on top of any sort of files. So we are going to learn that today. Okay, we are going to learn how to use Python programming language and pandas in order to manipulate and handle the data, right? How to manage the data. Now, in order to install pandas, so if pandas is not present in your computer, just say an exclamation pip install pandas, right? So just say something like this in your Jupyter notebook. If you are installing pandas in your command prompt, you don't need to put this exclamation symbol there. Okay. Without exclamation symbol, you can simply say pip install pandas in the command prompt, right? But if you are installing pandas using Jupyter notebook, you need to say exclamation and then pandas install pip install pandas, right? So it will say, it will either install it, or if it is already installed, it will tell you that the requirements are already satisfied, it is already present in the computer, right? Next thing what we need to do is, in order to import pandas, you need to say import pandas. And as you can all see, right, I hope everyone remembers what is the meaning of this part. This is nothing but renaming, right? Yes, aliasing or renaming, right? We are simply saying, for example, we all have this name, right? For example, let's say somebody, maybe let's say Ashutosh, right? So Ashutosh, people will call him Ashu, right? So we have aliases, we have different these names, right? So similarly, we are just saying that we want to say, instead of pandas, we need to say PD, right? Yes, like a nickname. Yes, correct, Kundan, right? So this is what we are trying to do here. Similarly for NumPy also, we are putting a nickname here. We are saying that NumPy as NP, right? Similarly, the next thing what we are doing, so let me try to skip a couple of things here, because you don't need to know all these things. If you need to look into it all in the detail, so maybe you can look into it, but let me try to go to the main part, right? Yeah. So if you want to look into the basics of pandas, you can go and learn all these things. Somebody is saying, um, so what do you want from me? So you just need to go to YouTube. On YouTube, you have all the videos available. Okay, I've already shared the link of the YouTube profile. So just try to go to this YouTube channel. You will find all the videos available there. Is that fine? Great. All right. So see, what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to say, right? I'm trying to say that let's try to open this thing. So if I say exclamation dir, right? So it will show me all the folders that are there in my current directory, right? All the folders that are present in my current directory, it will show me. Now, do you see? I have opened this file, this entire Jupyter file, which is called as pandas.ipynb, right? And in the same folder, I have something called as dir, and there is something called as image, right? So let me actually try to show the folder to you. Let me open up the folder. Give me a second. So it is in desktop. In desktop, I think. Yeah, I think I found the folder. I'll share the screen. Give me a second. Yeah, so I hope now everyone can see the screen. Yeah. So do you see that this is the folder pandas.ipynb? This is the file where I have written all the code, right? And you see that these are both the folders, right? So images is containing that image that I just showed you, right? I used this image on my Jupyter notebook. right? So this is that image, right? So let me go back to the folder, and there is something called as data, right? The folder called as data. In this data folder, I have something called as iris. Let me go to the properties, right? If I go to the properties, I will see that it is nothing but .csv file, right? I hope everyone is able to see that. So let me do this. Now, do you see it is Microsoft Excel comma separated files, right? Yes, CSV comma separated file, right? So it is comma separated values file. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear till this point? Right. So I will be using, so this file, I will be using this file in my code now. Okay. Let's say I have some data like this, right? I have a file which contains all the data like this. Now what I'll do is I'll try to put this entire file inside I will load this entire file in my computer. So CSV file and Excel file, somebody is asking the difference. So CSV file is nothing but your text file. It is just your text file. Let me try to show you how to open the CSV file. Okay, let me try to right click on this and try to open it in the notepad. Okay, let me open it in the notepad and show you how this thing is going to look like. Now, do you see this? Do you see this? We can open it in the notepad, right? So it is nothing but comma separated values, right? So you have one column called as ID. In ID, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Sample length is the second column, right? Then third column is with comma separated, right? Comma separated values. You have petal length, then petal width, then, and then the species, right? So there are 4 to 5 different columns in this entire data, and we are going to basically load this entire file inside our inside the, what do we say, Jupyter notebook, right? Is it clear now? Is it clear to everyone what do I mean by CSV file? So whereas I think Excel file, everyone knows how Excel file looks like, right? So that is the only thing. Right now, what I'll do is I've already shown you that there is a folder called as data, right? There is a folder called as data. In that data folder, we have some files. Now, what I will do now, I will try to load these files. Okay, I'll try to load these files. I'll show you how to load these files in the computer's memory. Okay, so pandas, what it will do is it will help us to load the files inside the computer's memory. What do I mean by computer's memory? I mean that I will try to load the files inside the RAM of my computer, right? If you see a computer, in a computer, you have a CSV, you have a CPU, right? You have a RAM, right? And you have a hard drive. You have a hard drive. Okay, so can you also share the GitHub link to these code? Couldn't find the link you shared yesterday. Okay, Aarti, I'll do that. Give me a second. Just a second, I'll try to give all the links again so that you can have a look at that, okay? Yeah, I hope you got the links. So code link, profile link, technology for all link, YouTube link, everything is there. Yes, Thor, correct, right? So you have all these components inside a computer, right? You have all these components, basic components. These are the must. These are the components that are required in a computer, in any computer, right? The CPU, a processing unit, is nothing but a CPU, right? You need a RAM, you need a hard drive, right? In order to store some data, you need a hard drive. Now, whatever CSV file you have, right? For example, I am having this CSV file called as iris.csv. Now, can anyone tell me whether this iris.csv is present inside my computer's hard drive, or is it present inside my computer's RAM? Try to think of it. Try to think of it. Yes, correct, correct. Initially, it will be present inside the hard drive, right? Initially, it will be present inside my hard drive. In my hard drive, I will have C drive, D drive, E drive, right? So on. So I'll try to partition my hard drive, right? We will never partition the RAM, right? So we'll try to partition the hard drive, and in the hard drive, we'll be storing all these values, all these files. Now, what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to say something like this. I'm trying to say read CSV. There is a function called as inside pandas. There is something called as read CSV. And I'm saying that I want to read this CSV file, which is present inside my data folder, right? Now, as soon as I write this line, right, this df is a variable which is going to contain the entire content of my CSV file, right? So by this, I mean that my file which is present inside the hard drive, it gets loaded to something called as a data frame of pandas, right? In pandas you have something called as a data frame, right? There is something called as a data frame. Data frame can be think of as a Microsoft Excel sheet, right? You can think of it as a Microsoft Excel sheet. I've shown you how a data frame looks like, right? This is how your data frame looks like. If I say df.head, I'm getting these 5 rows from my data, right? I'm just in order to see, using pandas read CSV function, what I'm doing is I'm trying to load whatever data was present inside my hard drive. I'm trying to load this entire data to my RAM, right? And in this RAM, this entire data is present in form of this variable df, data frame, right? It is called as a data frame. Is it clear till this point? Is it clear till this point to everyone? All right. So let me try to run the code and show you the outputs. Now, if I run the code, what is going to happen? Let me try to show you that. Now, anyone who can tell me how do I resolve this error? Yesterday also I showed you this error, right? So how do I resolve this error? Yes, correct, Samir. So I just need to say import pandas as pd, and I'll also say import numpy as np, right? So I'll import both the files, and then when I run the code, and then when I try to run the code, I will get the output as this, which looks like this. Now, is it clear to everyone? I hope this makes sense to everyone, yes or no? That is great. That is just great, right? Now, all right. Now, all these things, right? So this entire code is helping me to first of all bring my entire file from hard drive to RAM, right? The first thing is we are bringing this entire file from hard drive to RAM, and inside RAM, see, inside hard drive, what is the format of the file? It is .csv, yes or no? Is it .csv inside the hard drive? Yes, correct, Samir. Right. In RAM, what is the format of the file? What is the format of this entire data that is present inside the RAM now? It is pandas data frame, right? It is pandas data frame. Let me show you. Let me show you what do I mean by this. Let me try to create another cell here. Let me try to click on this plus button. It will create another cell. Now, if I say print df, right? So type of this df, I will know that it is nothing but pandas data frame. Is it clear now, everyone? So it is nothing but pandas data frame, right? I'm naming it as df, right? You can name it as anything. You can name it as anything. Okay, you can name it as chintu, pintu, anything, right? I'm just naming it as df, right? A shorthand notation for data frame. It is a identifier. Okay, we have already seen the identifiers in the first class of Python programming language. All right, now let's move ahead. Let's see what we can do using this data frame now. As you can see, first of all, we can do something called as df.head. Using df.head, what happens is, by default, this function called as head, it is going to only print first 5 rows. It is only going to read by default first 5 rows. Even if there are 10,000 rows in the data, it is by default going to read first 5 rows, right? Now, before going any forward, any further, I want to ask all of you one question. Now, what we have done using this code, we have bought this hard drive wala data to my RAM. Now, do you see any limitations to this pandas library, pandas module? Anyone who can think of any limitation? Okay, Tony, we have just started with pandas. Okay, Tony Stark, we have just started with pandas. Okay, so people are saying there are no limitations. Anything? Anyone? Now, so what is the function of this read CSV? It is basically bringing this CSV file inside my RAM in form of data frame, right? What if my CSV file is larger than 8 GB? In my computer RAM is 8 GB, right? What if my my CSV file is greater than 1 GB, 8 GB. Is it going to load this 8 GB file inside my RAM now? Is it possible to load it? No, right? No, right? It is not possible. So using pandas, you are always so it is a bottleneck, right? It is a bottleneck. What we have is we can only load the files inside the RAM, right? We can only load the file if the file size is less than the RAM size using pandas programming, using pandas module. Is it clear till this point? Okay, Arti. So what I'm saying is, see, the CSV file is present inside my computer. CSV file is present inside my computer. Let's say this is the .csv file, right? Iris.csv file. Now, as soon as I write this line pd.read CSV, this file is going to come and sit inside my RAM, right? It is going to come. It is going to come from the CSV, and it is going to sit inside the RAM. Now, as soon as it sits inside the RAM, it is only going to be possible to sit inside the RAM. See, RAM is a very small memory, right? In most of the computers, you will have 8 GB RAM or maybe 12 GB RAM or maybe 16 GB RAM, right? Or maybe 4 GB RAM. Now, what if this CSV file is larger than your computer's RAM? What if the CSV file that you have is larger than your computer RAM? Now do you got the question that I was asking? So I'm just asking, I'm just telling you that in case the CSV file is larger than the computer's RAM, you won't be able to bring it to the RAM, right? There is not, see, if the size of the file is 10 GB and you have only 4 GB RAM in your computer, if you have only 4 GB RAM in your computer and the file size is 8 GB, can you store this 10 GB of file in 4 GB RAM? No, right? It is not possible. Making sense, Arti? Okay, Thor. All right. So this is what I was saying, right? So you need, if we are talking about pandas module, you need files, right? You need files.csv file, right? Which is lesser compared to your computer's RAM, right? You can't work with something called as big data here using pandas. Somebody was asking about big data. In order to use big data, we basically use something called as Spark, Hadoop, something like that. Okay, maybe later on in advanced courses, I will try to take Spark wala topic also so that you know how to work on big data. Is that fine? Somebody was asking about big data, right? So, all right, Avnish. So this is the basics, right? Yes. Yes, Apache Spark. Yes, Apache is having that Spark. Spark belongs to Apache only, right? So Apache Spark is there. There are many different things like Apache Kafka, right? So there are multiple different things. Samir, I'm going to come to that. Maybe let's say you have XLSX file, right? Let's say you have XLSX file. We'll come to that. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is another function called as tail function, right? So if you want to maybe have a look at the data, let's say somebody is giving you some data, right? Now you want to do data analysis. And before doing data analysis, what you have to do is you have to take some feel. You have to understand the data, right? You need to understand the data, then only you will perform data analysis, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to take the feel of the data. I'm just trying to understand what is the data in hand, right? So if I do df.tail, I will be able to see the last 5 rows of my data frame, right? df.tail is going to show me, tail is going to show me last 5 rows. If I say df.head, if I say df.head, it is going to show me top 5 rows, first 5 rows of my data frame. Is it fine with everyone? Is it fine with everyone, all these, both these things? Okay, what is the next thing you might be interested in? You might be interested in knowing how many rows and how many columns do you have in the data, right? You might be interested in knowing how many rows and how many columns are there. In order to do that, you can simply say df.shape, as easy as that, right? Pandas df is very easy to use, right? If you have something in data frame, you can very easily use all these functions on that data frame, on that data frame to understand the data you have, right? The kind of data. In order to understand that, you can use all these functions. Now, what is the next thing I'm doing? I'm just saying df dot columns, and it is showing me all the column names, right? It is showing me all the column names that are there, right? For example, we have sepal length centimeter, petal length centimeter, sepal width centimeter, petal width centimeter, and the final column as species, right? These are the 5 main columns in the data set, and ID column is the unique identifier for each and every row, right? ID is the unique identifier for each and every row. Do you remember yesterday I showed you some statistical things that you can do using NumPy, right? Similar to that, you can also do the same thing with pandas. The best thing is pandas is written on top of NumPy, right? You have NumPy, right? And on top of NumPy, you have something called as pandas, right? On top of it, you have something called as pandas. Now, pandas basically will be able to utilize all the things that we have in NumPy, right? It can utilize all the things that are there in NumPy. So we can say that df.mean, and it is going to show you for all the columns what are the mean, right? For example, if you see that on average sepal length of the centimeter is 5.8, on average sepal width of a flower is 3.0, on average petal length of a flower is 3.7, on average petal width centimeter is 1.1. How many of you know what do I mean by sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width? Let me actually show you what do I mean by that. Okay, let me try to search for an image. Um, yes, I think I found one image. Yes, yes, yes. That is good. That is good. You need to make the classes fun, right? So otherwise, it will be very boring to attend the classes. It is okay, right? It is okay from my side. So we have Thanos also now. Okay, Lucifer is also there now. It is perfect. Thanos, so certifications, by the end of today, we will have all the certifications. Starting from tomorrow onwards, we'll start sending those certifications. Okay. So I have asked my design team to create the certifications. Tomorrow you will be receiving the certifications. Fine. Okay. Okay. Everyone is keeping the names of the people who are not in Marvel universe now. Captain America, Thanos, and this thing. All right. So let's talk about this thing. I hope you all can see the image of flower, right? Yes, I think you can see that now. Can you see this thing? Can you see this flower image? No, Samir, you have to attend the the workshops, the classes. Then only you will get the certificates. If you want, maybe try to go through all the Python videos. Once you are done, I'll ask you a couple of questions. If you are able to answer the question answers, then I'll give you the certificate for Python as well. Okay. Okay. See, so this is an iris flower, right? This is an iris flower. All of you can see this iris flower. Okay, so this is an iris flower, right? So in this iris flower, there are two kinds of what do we say? Jo pankhudi, right? So the pankhudi of the flower, right? So there are two kinds of pankhudi, right? One is this kind of pankhudi, and one is this kind of pankhudi. Everyone understand what is the meaning of pankhudi, right? These things that we have in the flower, right? Everyone understands this? Yeah. So this is a smaller one, right? So this is a smaller one, right? This is a smaller one, whereas if you see this part, this is a bigger one, right? This is a bigger one. Similarly, this is a bigger one. This again is a bigger one. There is this one, which is a smaller one, right? And there are these two kinds of pankhudis in all the iris flowers, right? This is how iris flowers look like, right? And in general, what happens is these small things, right? These small things, they are called as petals. They are called as petals, and these things are called as sepals, right? These are the terms for a flower. No, no, smaller is called as a petal. Okay, smaller is called as a petal, and the larger one is called as the sepals. It is okay. It is okay, right? So is that fine with everyone? All right. So what we have is we have the data for petal length centimeter, petal width centimeter, sepal length centimeter, and sepal width centimeter. Right? We have these four different kind of columns in our data set. Right? Now let me show you what do I mean by petal length centimeter. Petal length is nothing but starting from here. What is the length of this entire petal? Right? What is the length? They tried measuring this length in centimeters, and they wrote that entire thing inside that data that we have. Okay. Now, similarly, what is the width? Width is nothing but this thing, right? So they tried to measure this part, and this is nothing but the width. Similarly, when you talk about sepals, sepal length is nothing but this part, right? The length of the flower, right? The length of this entire part. And what is the width? Width is nothing but this measurement of this part. Everyone understood what is the data in hand? It is very important to understand the data, right? So then only we'll be able to do other tasks. I hope everyone understood the data. Yes or no? All right. All right. Now the next thing, let me try to go back to the, yes, Thanos, it will be uploaded by the end of the session. Okay. By the end of the session, it will be uploaded. Yes. So Vidya Sagar, in order to get the certificate, tomorrow you are going to get a link. Okay, in the class itself, I will share a link tomorrow. If you fill that link, you will get the certificates for this session. Okay, for the previous session, it has already been done. So I have all the data for all the people who have submitted, who have attended the session. Today, so tomorrow, I'm going to share the link for that certification wala thing, and you can fill the link and you can get the certificates. All right. Yes, yes, Ravi. The largest one is going to be considered as the width, right? The largest portion of that of the width, right? So it will be considered, right? So let me go back to my Jupyter notebook. Now, see. Now, do you see? So is petal length on average, right? On average, if we talk about petal length, and on average, if we talk about sepal length, right? So which one is going to be a bigger number? What do you think? Just by looking at that data, just by looking at that thing, what do you think is going to be a bigger number? Average sepal length or average petal length? Sepal, right? Sepal was the larger part, right? Sepal was the larger part in the flower, right? So if you see this sepal length centimeter average, right? Mean of sepal length centimeter is nothing but 5.8, whereas mean of petal length centimeter is nothing but 3.7. Right? On average, the petal length are 3.7 centimeters long, whereas sepal length are 5.8 centimeters long. Yes, Thanos, I'll do that. By the end of today, you will get both the recordings, right? So today recording as well as yesterday's recording, you will get. By the end of today, I'll do that. I'll make sure that it happens, okay? All right. So the next thing is the standard deviation, right? So this is the standard deviation wala part, right? So where you can see what are the standard deviations, right? For sepal and centimeter, for sepal width centimeter, petal and centimeter, as the petal width, as well as petal width centimeter, right? Very easy thing, right? So very easy thing. If you want to understand the statistics, if you want to basically print out the statistics, what is the standard deviation? We can simply say df.std, which is nothing but standard deviation, right? So it will give you the standard deviation of all the columns. Now let's say in statistics, so we need to understand the data, Avnish. We need to understand the data. So yesterday I showed you what do I mean by average, right? I already showed you what do I mean by average and what do I mean by median, right? In simple terms, instead of average, I was talking about mean, right? Mean and median, right? Similarly, all these statistical tools are going to help us understand the data, right? For example, standard deviation can help us understand what is the variance or what is the spread in the data. When we talk about standard deviation helps us in understanding the spread of the data, right? Mean or median, mean or median, they help us in understanding what is the central tendency of the data, right? It is going to help us in understand the central tendency of the data, right? So that is what I'm trying to understand, so that I know the data that I have in hand. Okay, I'll try to show you one very interesting thing just after this. Okay. Yes, Akansha, I can do that. So see, what I was saying was, I was discussing about pandas, right? And in pandas, you have multiple different functions like read CSV, you have shape, you have info, you have describe function, you have mean, you have standard deviation, you have all sort of functions in pandas, right? Now, in order to understand the data, what we need is we need statistics, right? Statistics helps us in understanding the data that we have in hand, right? So what we are doing here is we are just trying to look at some information. We are just trying to look at some statistical information about the data. Statistical analysis we are doing on the data. That's it. In order to look into mean, we can simply say df.mean. It will show me all the columns and their mean, right? Now, do you see that there is a column called as species in the data, right? There is a column called as species in the data. Now, is it possible to find the mean of this species column? Yes or no? Is it really possible to find the mean of species column? Try to think about it. If no, why no? Why do you think it is not possible? Yes, correct, Arti. It is a string, right? It is non-numeric. Yes, correct, Arti. Right? Mean is your mathematical statistical function, right? It is a statistical function. It is calculated on numbers only. Yes, correct, Ravi, right? So we can't calculate the mean of species. Now, when we say df dot mean, do you see the species mean is not there, right? It is Python is smart enough to understand that species column is not a numeric column, right? So we can directly look into this kind of thing. Yes, yes, mom, Mohammed, we can find the mode. Yes, we can do that. Okay. All right then. So let's move ahead. Now, this is a very powerful function. Most of the cases, you will see that whenever you do data analysis, all the data analysts, all the data scientists, they will just try to do something called as describe on their data. Whenever they want to understand what data they have, whenever they want to understand the statistical description of the data, if they want to look at the statistical description of the data, they will use this function on their data frame called as describe, right? This is a function called as describe, which can be used on the data frame. It will give you all the statistical information about the data. For example, it will tell you what is the mean of each column. You can see that sepal and centimeter mean is 5.8. Sepal with centimeter mean is 3.0. Sepal petal length centimeter mean is 3.7, and so on. Similarly, you can look at what is the minimum value in each column, right? You can look at the minimum value, you can look at the maximum value, right? Similarly, you can also look at some percentiles, right? So it is 25th percentile. It is not percentage, it is percentile. Is that clear to everyone? We are talking about percentiles here. Okay, it is a percentile, right? 25th percentile. It is a 50th percentile. What do I mean by 50th percentile? It means the middle value, right? It means the middle value. Now, do you know what do we call middle value? What do we call middle value? Do we call it something that we have studied yesterday? Do we call it median? Yes, correct, right? So this 50th percentile is nothing but median, right? So you have mean, you have median, you have minimum value, you have maximum value, you have standard deviation, you have count of the all the values that are there in each column. You have so much information just by looking at one function called as describe, right? Just by saying describe, you can have this much information about the entire data that you have. Is this describe function clear to everyone now? All right. Now let's move forward. Okay, let's move forward and try to understand a couple more functions. Before doing that, let me show you another example. Right. So there is a weather data set also with me. Okay. So New York weather.csv, there is a file with me. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to read this file. Is this the correct way to read the file? Yes or no? Everyone remember that we just say read CSV and then the file path, right? It is going to read the entire file inside this variable called as df. Now, can I write instead of df, can I write xyz here? Anyone? Yes or no? Is it possible to write xyz instead of df here? And why? Why is it possible to write xyz? Because it is a, yes, it is an identifier. It is an identifier. Yes, Samir, correct. Right? It is a variable. It is a variable, just a variable, right? Making sense? This part is an alias, right? This part is an alias. This part is where I'm trying to do something called as aliasing, right? I'm just renaming this thing. I'm just nicknaming this thing pandas to PD. That's it, right? And here df is nothing but but a variable, an identifier, right? Yes, you can change PD to anything, right, Samir? You can write instead of this, I can write Chintu, right? It is all okay. I can write Chintu, then I have to write Chintu dot read CSV. Okay. I have to say Chintu dot read CSV in order to basically make sure that pandas work properly. All right. So this is something that you can do. Is it fine with everyone? All right. Now let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. So let me show you one very interesting thing that we can do with pandas. We can write SQL queries. How many of you know SQL? How many of you know SQL? A little bit of SQL, at least some SQL. I'm not asking that you should be expert in SQL. At least you should know some SQL. Okay, so how many of you do not know SQL? Is there anyone? Okay, so 2 to 3 people do not know anything about SQL. Okay, so I'll try to talk about very basic SQL things. Okay, I will talk about very basic SQL things so that you know how to map SQL to pandas. Okay, is that fine? So you might have learned, you might have done something called a select query, right? Everyone agrees with this. Select star from table. You might have done this thing. I will only explain, I will only talk about this query, nothing else. I will only talk about this query, nothing else. If you know this thing, that is all that I need from SQL. Okay. Is that fine? Now I will show you how to write the same kind of queries in pandas. Okay, I'll do that. Just in some time I'll try to show you that. But first, let me show you what I'm trying to do here. Okay, can anyone try to think of? Sorry, I've already mentioned the question here. Okay, so if I want to see what is the maximum temperature, what I can do, I can say df, which is nothing but this entire data frame. I can say temperature column, right? This is the temperature column, and in this temperature column, I can say dot max, right? This is the function of data frame, right? So with this, I can see that the maximum temperature in this column df, in this column temperature is nothing but 50, right? There was a day when the maximum temperature was around 50, right? Is it clear to everyone? Yes or no? Very easy stuff, right? All right, now let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. So I won't explain you this query because this is not something that we do generally, right? There is another way to do these kind of queries, right? In pandas there is some other way to do these kind of queries. I'll show you that way. Okay, I won't show you this way because it makes people confused, right? It is going to make you confused with other things. Okay, in future you will be confused with this kind of query again and again. Okay, I'll show you a very interesting way, one very interesting thing to show you how to write these kind of queries. Okay, let's not go into that. Now somebody was asking, what if I want yes, Shubham, in order to look into the maximum value, you can put dot max, this function, right? You can put dot max to see the maximum value. Okay, Shubham. All right. Now, I think somebody was asking about what if I want to import some other value, some other file, right? So in order to do that, you need to say pd.read Excel, right? pd.read Excel, and then you have to put Excel file name, okay, .xlsx, right? So I have another file called as weatherdata.xlsx. So we can do something like this, okay? Um, it is okay, Nihal. It is perfectly fine, okay? All right. So before using this Excel function, okay, try to install these two packages. Okay, just try to do pip install xlrd and try to do pip install openpy excel. Okay, So you need to do these two things in order to use this function called as read Excel. Okay. Is it fine with everyone? You have to say pip, let's not write pip3. Okay, you have to say pip install XLRD. You have to say pip install OpenPyXL in order to make sure that these commands run fine, perfectly, properly, without any problem. No, Arati. If you have installed something in your computer once, you don't need to you don't need to install it again and again. Only one time is okay, right? You have to run these pip commands just one time. Okay, just try to think of it as this. Okay, yes, import, you need to do it again and again. Import, you have to do it again and again. But installing something is one time, right? When you install, maybe let's say calculator in your computer, right? You install it only once, right? You install it only once, and after that you just use that calculator again and again, right? So this is the only thing, right? The same thing here, right? So we are installing these software packages only once, and we are using them again and again. Is that fine? But importing needs to be done again, right? You need to import the file, these things again whenever you try to run this program. Yes, correct, Lucifer. Whenever you shut down this entire thing, right? So this is not required here because we have already done import pandas as PD, right? But let's say if I try to shut down this kernel, okay, let me try to show you. Let me try to leave this page, right? And then let me try to select this and shut it down. Okay, let me try to shut down this kernel, right? Do you see now it is not green colored, right? Now let me try to open up the file. Let me try to open up the file. It will take some time. Okay, now it has, I have opened the file. Let me go down. Yeah, let me go down. Now if I run the program, right now if I do not import this thing, if I run the program, do you see there is a name error? Is this fine? Right? In order to resolve this name error, what do I need is I need this pandas, right? I need this pandas. I need to import this pandas. So let me try to put it there. And now let me try to run this program. Is it fine now? If you try to close this entire notebook and then you try to run it again, this import, it won't be able to recognize it. Okay. If you have imported something once in this entire code, you don't need to import it again and again. I'm just writing this line again and again so that you can understand that we need this PD, right? We need this PD over here. Okay, because for the starters, for the people who are fresh to data science, they will find it hard to understand why we are using PD here. That's why I'm just writing this line, import pandas as PD again and again. Is this making any sense? Okay. Now let's move ahead. So we can do all sort of things with Excel also, right? We can do all sort of things. Arti, do not put 3. Okay, let's do not put 3. Just say pip install XLRD. Just say pip install XLRD. Do not put pip3. Okay. In Linux, you need to put pip3, but in Windows, you don't need to put pip3. You just say pip install XLRD. Let me know if it is showing any invalid syntax when you do pip install XLRD. Is it working? All right. Okay. Perfect. All right. So let's move ahead. Right. So this is not required for you guys. So let me try to now show you the next file. Let me go back and let me go to pandas 2 and let's look into some advanced pandas. So pip3 and pip, so pip3 means Python 3 package. Okay, pip3 means Python 3 package, whereas basically pip is normally used in Windows. Okay, pip is normally used in Windows, whereas pip3 is normally used in, yes, pip3 basically is for Python 3.x, but in Windows pip will also work. In Windows pip will also work, and pip3 sometimes it won't work. You need to explicitly install pip3. Okay. Okay, somebody is asking about XLRD, XLSX. Okay, I'm going to explain that XLSX now. All right, so let's talk about that. Yes, Lucifer. Pip is package installer, right? It helps us to install all the Python packages, right? For example, you have pandas package, you have numpy package, right? It helps us to install all these packages, all these libraries, right? A Shubham XLSX, right? It is an extension of a file, right? For example, you have .mp3 for music files, right? You have .csv for comma separated value files. XLSX is for Excel file, right? Microsoft Excel files. Yes, Aarti, it is like Java utils. Yes. Okay. So Avanish, in Python, both are almost similar. Okay. In Python, you have instead of libraries, we call it packages in Python. Okay. In Python, we have packages and we have modules. Okay. Maybe later on we'll try to go to that. Okay. We have Python में packages and modules. Later on, maybe we'll try to go to that. Okay. All right, then now let's try to learn something interesting about pandas. All right, so we don't need this. Let me show you something which is really very much required, which is really interesting, and really we need to understand that. Okay, see, what I'm going to show you now is, right, what I'm going to show you now is these two functions, ilock and lock function, which can be used in order to write any select query, right? Let's say you have select star from maybe let's say a df, right? From df, let's say there is a table called as df and you want to say select star from df. Can anyone explain me what do I mean by this command? What is the output of this command in sql? What is the command? What is the output of this command? Okay, it means simply print out all the rows, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? It means that print out all the rows that are out there. Okay, so where am I specifying all the rows? Can anyone tell me? Is this star means select star simply means select rows, all rows? Yes or no? Do you guys think that this is for rows, guys? Okay, Praveen, for what? Why do we use a star here? What is the meaning of this star? No, it doesn't mean all data. It doesn't mean all rows. It means all columns. It means all columns. Yes, it means all columns of the data frame. Just try to select it. Okay, if you want to look at all the rows, you say something like this, right? For example, let's say we have this data, right? We have this data, right? We have this data. Using df.head, we are simply saying that I want to look at all the columns, but only top 5 rows, right? Only top 5 rows. That is what I'm saying with this. Is it fine with everyone? Is it fine with everyone? Are you all able to understand this part? Okay. So whenever you write, okay, so this is one of the very interesting interview questions. Okay, people who are trying to see whether you know SQL or not, they will ask you that if I write select star from some table name, maybe let's say df, right? What is the meaning of this star? Everyone knows that it is going to print out all the rows, right? It print outs all the rows, and many a times people will say that this all rows simply is denoted by this star. Okay, that is not the case. That is not the case. This star simply means select all the columns. Okay, it simply means select all the columns from df, right? This is why you see all the columns here. Okay, this is a kind of output you will get if you say something like select star. If you want to maybe only select this sepal with centimeter and petal length centimeter, why? How do you write the select query? Anyone? You write select. You write select and then you write the column names, right? You write the column names. You write, so let me write it in shorthand notation. Let me write it like this: sepal length centimeter, sorry, sepal width centimeter, and comma petal length centimeter. Yes. And then what should I write? From, and then what should I write? I should write the column name, right? And sorry, I should write the table name, and the table name is D. Now, is it clear to everyone that this part of the SQL query is about writing all the columns, right? Star simply means all the columns. Here we are explicitly mentioning all the columns, the two columns that we need to look at, right? And let's say I want to look at the rows, right? Let's say I want to look at the rows where sepal width centimeter is greater than 5 centimeter. What do I need to do? In SQL, we simply write it something like this, where we write where clause. Yes, Samir, right? We write where sepal width centimeter is greater than 5. We write query like this in SQL. I hope everyone is able to understand this part, right? Is everyone able to understand now this part? Correct. Cool. Right. Now we will try to see how to map these kind of queries to pandas. Okay. How to map all these kind of queries to pandas. How do we write pandas map these queries in order to duplicate, in order to replicate this kind of queries that we write in SQL. Okay. So we don't need SQL. We can directly do it in pandas. Okay. And how do we do that? We'll try to learn that using iloc and lock function. Okay, you don't need anything else in pandas. You can simply try to use iloc and lock in order to write these queries. Okay, the only difference between iloc, see, iloc and lock both work in the same way, right? The output for both is going to look like very similar. The only difference is iloc means positional based indexing, whereas lock means label based indexing. Okay, I will come to that. What do I mean by positional based indexing as well as label based indexing? I'll come to that in a moment. Okay, let me go ahead and try to show you what we have right now. Okay, so we have this entire data. Right, we have this entire data. In this entire data, do not look at this code. Okay, let's not worry about this code. So in this entire data, what we have is, we have this entire data. And do you know, I hope everyone knows, right? In Python, in any programming language, if you have a sequence data, if you have a sequence data, from where is the index going to start? Is the index going to start from 0 or 1? Correct, right? So the index is going to, by default, the index is going to start from the 0, right? We can't see this 0, right? This is the index, that is the by default index for any sequence data type, right? Any sequence data type that you have, the index is going to start from 0. So can I say that this row is nothing but the 0th row? Can I say that, yes or no? Yes, correct, Samir. Yes or no, guys? Can I say that this is the 0th row? Similarly, this is the first row, second row, third row, and the fourth row. I'm so sorry about the handwriting, guys. So this Zoom annotation tool is very bad. Okay, this Zoom annotation tool, it is all about this because of this Zoom annotation tool. Okay, so this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. My handwriting actually is very bad. Okay, but this Zoom annotation tool, it is making it worst. Okay. So these are all the columns, sorry, rows. And similarly, can I also say that this is the 0th column? Yes or no? This is the 0th column, right? This is the first column, this is the second column, third column, and the fourth column, and so on, right? We have only 4 columns, but the number of rows are like 150 rows we have, right? So this is the entire data, right? This is how you can understand that these are the indexes, by default indexes of all the rows and all the columns, right? And these are called as positional indexing. These are called as positional indexes. By default, positional indexes, these are called, we call them as positional indexing. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? Yes or no? All right. Now, if I say df dot iloc, now can anyone recall whether iloc was a positional index or a label index? Was iloc a positional index or a label index? Yes, it is a positional index, right? It is a positional index, right? Um, no, Prithviraj, you didn't miss anything. So we are just talking about pandas today. Okay. Prithviraj, are you from the internship batch? Okay. I thought I saw you in the internship also. Okay. So is it clear to everyone? Right. So the iloc wala part is for positional index, right? It is for positional index. Yes, 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 Prithviraj, I understood. I recall. There is some other Prithviraj that I met today, so I was actually confused, right? So okay, Utkarsha, it is okay. All right. So if I write, guys, try to see this. If I write square brackets and 2 here, right? If I write something like this, so is it going to access this 2 or this 2? Which 2 is it going to access? What do I mean by this 2? Is it this one or this one? Yes, it means this 3, right? It means this 2, right? It is a positional based indexing. Now, do you see sepal length centimeter? It is saying 4.7, right? Sepal length centimeter is 4.7. Sepal width centimeter is 3.2, right? For this row, you have all this data 1.3, 0.2, and iris setosa. Let me try to scroll a little down. Now, do you see this? Do you see this? We are getting, this is 0th, this is first, second, third, and fourth. I lock 2. Okay, so let me let me try to disable that annotation wala thing. So I lock 2 simply means this entire row. Is that fine with everyone? Is that fine with everyone? I lock 2 simply means this entire row, right? It is easy, it is very easy to use these I locks. All right. Now let me show you another code, right? So what do I mean by this line? What do I mean by this line? Let's try to first understand the syntax. Whenever I write df.iloc, right? Whenever I write df.iloc, right? And then the square brackets, I will mention the row index first, right? And then a comma, right? If there is a comma, it is going to be a column index, right? It is going to be a column index, and before comma, it is going to be a row index. Is it clear to everyone? Now, can anyone tell me what is the row here and what is the column here? What is the row here and what is the column here? Can you identify? Okay, Lucifer is telling us the answer. Let's look at it in a minute. Okay, not the answer. Okay, Samir is telling us the answer. Okay. So yeah, one is row and two is column, right? So let's try to track it. Okay, let's try to track it. So this is 0th row, right? Because this is iloc, right? This is iloc. I have to look at by default indexing, right? I have to look at by default indexing, and row is one, right? So I'm talking about this row. And which column am I talking about? Can anyone tell me, is it going to be sepal width centimeter or is it going to be petal length centimeter? Can anyone tell me whether it is sepal width centimeter or petal length? Yes, it is petal length centimeter, right? Because this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, right? By default, this positional index for this column is 2, right? So this is the value that we are looking at. This is the value that we are interested in, 1.4. Let's go down. Let's see the output. See, the output is 1.4. Now, is it clear to everyone? All right. Now, do you remember slicing from the Python classes? We covered slicing in the Python classes, right? No, Pranav, the ID is not the column. Pranav, ID is not the column. It is the positional. Sorry, it is the label index. It is the unique identifier and it is the label index. So I didn't talk about this part. So what I did was I just created an index for this entire table, right? I created an index for this entire table, and this is not treated as a column now, right? Earlier it was treated as the column. Do you see? There is a difference, right? Here it is treated as a column, whereas here it is treated as as an index. Is it clear, Pranav? Yes, correct, Samir. All right. All right. So let me show you what do I mean by this code. Okay, so I'm saying I'm using a slicing operator here. Okay, now slicing may, anyone who remembers what is slicing? We are coming to that, Shweta. We are now talking about the slicing. How is it going to look like in this case in data frames? So slicing ka, let me first try to write the syntax. Okay, it is start, then colon, then anyone who can tell me what should I put here? What do I mean by whatever value I put here? No. It is not the step size. It is the end. It is the end, right? Yes, Kundan, it is end, right? And then a colon, then you have the step size, right? Then you have the step size. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? So if I write something like this, let me try to show you how do I track it. Now, is there anything in the start here? Do you see anything in the start here? No, right? There is nothing. So what do I mean by this? It means that by default, whatever is the start, it should consider that, right? Now, do you see any end here? There is no end, right? So by default, whatever is the end, it should consider that end. It will automatically take that end. Okay, by default, whatever end is there, it is going to take that end. Is that fine? And there is nothing like step size here. Okay, so we are not considering step size because this part is this part we are not putting here. Okay, so we are not considering the step size wala part. We are only considering this start to end wala part. Okay, and by default start wala part and by default end wala part, we are only considering that. Is it fine? Is it fine with everyone? Okay. See now. Okay. So what do I mean by this? First of all, anyone who can tell me what do I mean by this three? Yes. Now you tell me. You tell me what do I mean by three? So I already told you that the syntax of iloc looks like this, right? Iloc, then the brackets, then you have row, and then you have column, right? Now this row basically here is nothing but three. Then there is a comma, and for column we are putting this slice operator. Yeah, it is a row number, right? So the slice operator here means by default start from the beginning and try to go till the by default end. Okay, whatever end is there, just try to go to that part. Okay, Vidya, no problem. Okay, is it fine? Yes, beginning of the column and the ending of the column. This is the by default values here, right? Because we are not putting anything, it means by default value. Just try to take that and just start from the beginning of the column and just go to the ending of the column. Yes, I'll do that. I'll do that with you. I'll do that with you, Sagar. Okay. All right. Now, so what do I mean? I simply mean this is my entire data frame, right? We have 0th index, we have first index, second index, and third index. So I mean that go to the third row, right? Go to the third row and just start from the first column and try to go to the last column and try to print out all this information, whatever is there inside it. Making sense now? Is it making sense now? I hope this makes sense to everyone. All right, great. Right. So do you see we have sepal and centimeter, sepal with centimeter, petal and centimeter, and petal with centimeter. We have all the information here now. Right. So this is something that we do. Right. Now let's go down. Let's go down. Now, what are we doing here? Anyone who can identify what is the meaning of this part? Now, what is the syntax? Df. Try to see this, guys. Try to see this. Okay. Df.ilog. This is where people will confuse. Okay. So this was the syntax. This was the syntax. You have row, you have column. Now, do you see that here in this code, in this entire code, we are saying df.ilog, and then the brackets, and inside the bracket we are putting another bracket, and we are writing 236, right? And then we are closing the bracket, and then there should be a column, comma here, right? It is all about rows, right? This entire data is for rows, right? We are simply saying just access second row, third row, and the sixth row, right? And for column we have nothing. We have nothing for the column. It means just try to put all the columns with these three rows: second row, third row, and the sixth row. Is it clear to everyone? Great. Great. So let's go down. Now, can anyone explain me this code? Can anyone explain me this code? You have the output also here. Can anyone try to explain this code? What do I mean by 236 and what do I mean by 123? Yes, Arvindan, you are correct. Yes, correct, Shweta. Correct, right? So see, what was the syntax? Syntax was nothing but inside brackets you will put row and then you will put columns, right? Do you see? There is a column, comma, and then you have this entire part is row, this entire part is column, right? So whatever we have here, we'll try to access these three rows, and whatever we have here, we'll try to access these three columns, right? Earlier, we were having the entire data with sepal length centimeter. We were having sepal width centimeter, petal length centimeter, and petal width centimeter, right? These were the four columns inside my data. 0, 1, 2, 3, and there was another column called as species, right? So what is the first column? First column is sepal width centimeter, right? What is the second column? It is petal length centimeter. What is the third column? Petal width centimeter. Now, is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? I hope I was able to explain this part so everyone is able to understand it. Yes or no? So once you are able to understand it, we'll go to understand how to write the select queries. Okay. All right. Now let's come down. Maybe this is not required now. Yeah, let's try to look at the label based indexing. So for label based indexing, what do we have? We have lock. Instead of ilock, we have lock in label based indexing. Okay. And how is lock different from ilock? Right? Lock basically means that instead of taking the original or the by default positional arguments, okay, you have to use these labels. You have to use, instead of using the 0 1 2 3 wala indexing, you have to use these row indexes and column indexes. Is it making sense to everyone? That is the only difference, nothing else. There is only one difference, and this is the only difference. Is it clear to everyone? See, let me actually prove it to you. Okay. So these were the what do we say, positional arguments, right? These were the positional indexing. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now, if I want to access this second row, is this the correct code? Is this the correct code if I want to access this row? All right. So can anyone tell me how do I access using lock? If I want to write df.lock, what should I write here? How do I access it? No, Captain America. Yes, Kundan, correct. Yes, iPhone. Yes, Shweta. iPhone, maybe it is a good idea if you can maybe change your name. Yes, Shubham, Arvindan. Yes, correct. Right. So you need to put the label index here, right? This is the label index. In order to access this row, this is how lock will identify that this is the row you are talking about, right? This is the only thing, right? This is the only thing about lock and ilock, right? So let's try to look at it. See, using ilock you have to say 2, but using lock you have to give it actual label index. All right. So somebody is asking which one is actually preferred, ilock or lock. So it depends on the situation. No, there is no advantage or disadvantage of using one of these things. It all depends on the situation. Let's say somebody is asking you, see guys, let's say there is a very big database in front of you, a very big table in front of you. Maybe let's say it is containing 100 different columns, right? And maybe let's say 10,000 different rows. 10,000 rows are there, right? And 100 different columns are there. And somebody is asking you to print out, somebody is asking you to go to the 0, 1, 2, 3, fourth column. Somebody is asking you to go to the fourth column. So which one will you use? Let's say you don't know the name of the column. Which one will you use? Will you use ilock or will you use lock? ilock, right? You are going to use ilock in this case. You are going to use ilock in this case. You are simply going to say ilock 4, right? So we don't know the column name, right? Yes, ilock will be easy in this case, right? ilock will be easy in this case. Let's say there is somebody who is telling you to print out. Let's say somebody is asking you to print out a column called as gender. Let's say you don't know the place where this gender, you don't know the positional argument the positional index of this gender column. So which one will you use? Let's say I want to print out this gender column. Which one will you use? And how do you print out this entire column gender? How do you print out this entire column gender? You will use lock, but how will you print out this column gender? Anyone who can think of it? No, no Kundan, no Avnish, no, no Lucifer. See, what was the syntax? First of all, go to the syntax. Try to look at the syntax. What was the syntax? Syntax was you have to say data frame, you have to put a dot, you have to put a lock, and then you have to basically put a row and columns label, right? Row and column. Sorry, this is column, right? Now try to understand this, right? So you are writing the answers that I got was df.log. You are saying that just try to put df.log and then gender. Now do you see this gender will correspond to the row, right? This gender will correspond to the row. Instead of this, we have to write something else, right? Instead of this, what should I write now? Anyone? Can you think of it? Should I write something like this, df.log? How many rows do I want? How many rows do I want? Yes, Avnish, correct. I can simply put a column here. I can simply put a column here to represent that I need starting from ending, starting till ending, right? Starting from starting till ending, I need everything. So I can simply put a column here. And what column I need? I just need a gender column, right? I need a gender column. Now, can anyone tell me how do I print out? Let's say I want to print out. Let's say I want to print out. Let's say select gender, comma, age from data frame. Now, can anyone write the data frame query using lock or ilock? First of all, which one will you use? Will you use ilock here or will you use lock here? You don't have anything, you just have this query. You want to replicate it in pandas. Yes, Anamika, correct, right? You are going to use lock, right? You are going to use lock. You don't have the data frame, you don't have anything. You just know that data frame is called as df and columns are called as gender and age. Now, can anyone write the query? Can you write the query? How do I write the entire query? Start with df, okay? So start with df, say df dot something. Okay, just say something like this. Df dot, what should I write? Give me the complete query that I need to write in order to do this thing in pandas. Okay, Lucifer. There is a small typo. There is a small typo, Lucifer. No, Avnish, we are not going to do that. A row and then there is a column, right? So this is a syntax, right? Guys, this is the syntax. Now, which row do I want? I want all the rows, right? I want all the rows. And which column do I want? I want, first of all, I want gender. I want gender. And I also want comma age. Yes, right? So this is how I will put it inside this lock, inside these brackets. This is the entire part that I'll try to put. Is it clear to everyone? Kundan, you have to write it like this, okay? Is it clear, Kundan? Is it clear to everyone? Right? Just try to follow the fundamentals, okay? Just the fundamentals. Just keep in mind that this is the syntax. That's it. Great. Let's move ahead. Let's try to look at one last thing today. Okay. All right. Now let's say I want to write something like this. Select select, let's see what I want to write. Star from data frame where sepal length centimeter is greater than 7.5. Now, can anyone explain me how do I write this query? How do I replicate this query in pandas? Okay, so that is really smart. Yes, that is actually correct, Lucifer. So almost correct. Right, there is a small typo, but everything else is correct. Guys, anyone who can think of it, how to write this query? See, first of all, let's try to identify a couple of things here. Okay, everyone with me? Everyone with me? So what do I mean by this? What do I mean by this? Yes, I mean all column. Yes, correct. I mean all the columns, right? I mean all the columns, right? Yes or no? So there is a very basic bug or basic problem in the solution that somebody just shared with me. Um, all right, so let's move ahead. So what is this part? Am I trying to target rows using this part? Yes or no? I am saying that only show me rows where this equation holds true, right? I'm saying only show me those rows where this equation holds true. And what is the way we write data frame queries in pandas? We write it in loc or iloc. We already have this sepal and centimeter, right? So we will use, instead of iloc, we'll try to use loc, right? And then what we need to do, we know that this part is row and this part is column, right? So in column, you can put a column here, right? Let's say you want to show all the columns, just put a column here. And for rows, what do you need to put? You need to tell that in data frame, right? Dot sepal length centimeter, it should be greater than 7.5. You need to put it like this, right? df.log and this entire thing. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? Let me try to scroll down and show you this entire part. Is it clear to everyone? So this is very easy to write, right? So this is how you write this entire query. Yes, Avnish, I'll try to explain it again. See, this part is nothing but your row wala part, right? And then there is a column, so comma, and then there is a column representing all the columns, right? So we were having this query, select star, right? It means select all the columns from the data frame df where this was the query, right? Where the sepal length centimeter, it should be greater than 7.5. And how do I replicate this entire thing? We know that this is used to filter out rows, right? In SQL, this is used to filter out rows. Based on this query, we'll try to filter out rows. And we mean by this is nothing but all the columns, right? So in pandas, we have df, right, dot loc, right? We simply try to put this column here, right? We simply try to put column here because we need all the columns, right? And here, what do I need to do? We need to put df dot sepal length. Whenever we need to put these kind of queries, these kind of conditional statements, we simply say df dot this column is greater than 7.5. Now, is it clear? Prithviraj, is it clear to all of the people? Yes, Thanos, I know that these are very heavy to understand. I'll try to upload it as soon as before 8 p.m. I'll try to upload both the things. Is that fine with you? Is that fine with you if I try to upload both the things before 8 p.m.? Great. I'll make sure that both the recordings gets uploaded before 8 p.m. Okay. Now, can anyone explain? See, if you try to look into this entire data, right? So this is the last thing we'll do today. Okay, this query, and then we'll end up the session. Okay. So if we have this entire data, right? If you see this entire data, do you see that all the sepal length centimeters are greater than 7.5? Yes or no? Do you see all the sepal length centimeters are greater than 7.5? Let's say I want to write a query. Yes, Thanos, I'll do that. Okay. So let's say I want to write a query where I want to say that I want to make it a little strict. Okay, I want to say that I want to see all the rows. I want to see all the rows, right? Where sepal length centimeter is greater than 7.5 and petal length centimeter is greater than 6.7. Now, can anyone point to me which row is that row which is having both these conditions as true? Both the conditions should be followed, right? Do you see that this is the only row? This is the only row, right? This is the only row. Only one row is there which is having both the conditions as true, right? And how do we write such kind of conditions? We simply put it like this, right? We have a box, there is a column, comma. This column means all columns. This column means all columns. And this part here represents the condition that I want to put on the rows, right? Simple, very simple. And there is a and here. I hope everyone understands what do I mean by and. It is a bitwise, it is a logical and, which simply means that this and this should hold true. This and this, both the conditions should hold true. Is that fine with everyone? Is that fine with everyone? Yes, when both the conditions holds true, then only it will show you the output, right? Clear है सबको? Is it clear? If everything is clear, then we can end up the session for today, okay? All right, perfect. So how was the session, guys? Were you able to learn something new here? Attendance link tomorrow. Prithviraj, attendance wala thing tomorrow. We are going to do that thing tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow I'm going to share the link with you. Okay, today it was very hectic day for me, so that's why I was not able to prepare that link. Yes, Lucifer, you need not a bit, you need a lot of practice on this. Okay, you need a lot of practice, right? So I will be ending the session now. So tomorrow again, we'll try to talk about other things, right? We'll try to talk about one use case. Okay, maybe we'll try to come up with a use case, or we can also look into some. Yeah, we will look into some visualization. Okay. Sir, have you shared any link? I have. Nihal, yes. So do you have the YouTube link, Nihal? The place where I will be uploading all the videos. Do you have that link? Okay, so that was the only link that I shared today. Okay. Feedback form tomorrow, I'll share it. Ashwani, tomorrow I'll share it. Okay. I want a complete, basically, support from all of you, right? Just try to learn all these things. Okay, maybe later on I will try to come up with new fundamental course or something a little bit more advanced, so that you can understand that. Okay, in order to understand that, right, you need to learn all these things. Okay, just try to go through all these things so that you can learn the advanced concepts later on if I try to cover them. Shweta, I'm not able to understand the question. Can you please repeat this part? Samir, yes. A day after tomorrow on Saturday, we are going to work on a project.